It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and day 4 in Del Mar. You know, yesterday we did Walkabout Wednesday because here we were just doing more detail work and there was nothing really new to report. But today you can see that we have 9 yards of soil. This is really, really nicely composted, amended topsoil that we get at the local rock yard. It's really fantastic for mounding. Greg is going to be bringing in 3 more for a total of 12 in this space. Greg's back there working on rerouting some irrigation. Cullen and Kevin are going to be taking some of the smaller rock that we have and creating a very organic property delineation with the rock. Then when Greg is done with his rerouting over here, we're going to start taking some of this soil and moving it into the back areas. You can see over here, you know, our main area of concern with the bird of paradise that we removed was all of the roots. There's just so thatchy. This was just thick with roots crawling up into and underneath the foundation of the house. So, I mean, it's just a really good thing that we were able to get those out of there. We have a little more work to do. There was some piping here that Greg had to cut and cap before we could get in. But this is going to take, I mean, just this little corner right here is going to probably take a half an hour to clear out. But then we'll be ready for soil. This is going to be a really dramatically mounded garden because you guys know that I have to, I get a little short of breath just thinking about it, but I'm not going to be using as many plants as I have in some other projects. This is going to be more of a statement or specimen garden. So I want to be really, really dramatic with the mounding. You can see that these boulders that we have, some of them are huge. This is what you would call a 3-footer. And we don't generally like to work with anything over 2 feet because they weigh 400 or 500 pounds, some of these rocks. And we've got, you know, just a dolly to move them. So the smart thing to do in this situation is rather than trying to run these 400 or 500 pound rocks up on top of a mound, stage these on a flat ground and then work the dirt around them. So that's the plan, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to cherry pick out some of these bigger ones, stage them on flat ground, then move dirt around them later. The smaller rock is going to be worked out along the edge. It's going to be really, really pretty. Yes, we got some plants from Caesar from Sun Valley yesterday. They're kind of scattered all over the place. Yeah, but we've got all of our barrel cactus for the front yard. We've got a really, really gorgeous agave ovatifolia. We've got pretty, pretty agave attenuata ray of lights, the variegated attenuatas. Caesar had an issue with deer. They came through one night and just annihilated most of his ray of lights, but we managed to get a few that hadn't been eaten. We have a beautiful 24-gallon tub Dracaena Draco. This is going to be one of the showstoppers in this yard. And, you know, it's not an installation without our Dazzlerian longissimums. Just love, love, love the softness and the texture that this plant brings to the succulent garden. Beautiful, beautiful Kalanchoe luciae. Look at the color on those. I got the sunburst aeoniums, which are looking, you know, a little rough this time of year, but they're going to come right out of this once the temperature drops. Oh, here they are. So excited about these. Look at these echeverias. Caesar wasn't sure what the variety was on these, and neither am I, so we're just calling them a Gibiflora hybrid. But I don't know if you can really get a sense in the video. Look at the size of this thing. Isn't that so stunning? I just had to have them. So very, very excited about these. And Yeah, we already talked about the plants from Waterwise, right? So I got a little Salisto cactus, Straussii. I got a San Pedro. I got some really pretty brevifolia, striatas, millii, a really cute little pharaoh cactus. And then, of course, all of my aloe cameronii that I'm going to cut and work with as cuttings in the garden, and the Portulacaria afrovariegata, which is such a phenomenal ground cover. Yeah, so I don't really know what I've got at this point since it's scattered all over the place, but it'll all come together because it always does. All right, so we are wrapping up day 4 in Del Mar, and much progress has been made. Daddy Greg went and got another 3 yards of soil, so now we're working with 12 yards in this front yard. I should make a drinking game out of this video, right? Every time I say yard, take a drink. Okay, so a little hack that I've told you about, but I want to show you, is this is an example of where we called the rock yard and said, bring us 2-foot Baja Cresta. And they brought us 3-foot Baja Cresta. So the issue with that is sometimes the rocks might be a little out of scale or they're too big. If that's the case, stage your rock first and then throw dirt around it. So this is a really great way to do this, especially if you don't have really strong guys or a lot of equipment to use. It's very, very difficult to manipulate these boulders on fresh soil. So by setting them down first on level ground and then bringing the dirt up around, it's just a much faster, more efficient way to do this. Makes the rocks look more excavated and also minimizes their impact in the landscape. This Cupaniopsis anacardoides, we've talked about this, the carrotwood tree. Look how far over into our landscape the canopy comes, and it drops these seed pods. So I am going, I told you I was going to go with a Palm Springs Gold 3/8, but unfortunately none of the yards have got Palm Springs Gold right now. So we're going with Cali Gold, which is fine, it's no big deal. But I want to go with a lighter top dressing, and you should too if you've got leaf drop to consider or pod drop. Because what will happen when those pods drop onto the lighter rock is they won't show up. So it won't be, such a big deal. I got a little bit of planting done. Can I just say how much I love aloe vera? This is just probably, one of the most common plants on the planet, but I just love it as a standalone. I think this is the most dramatic looking plant, and when the sun hits it, it just absolutely glows. Yeah, we put 3 5-gallon plants to make a bigger impact in the landscape. Remember, this is not going to be, Disneyland here. We're going to dial it in. I also have those black chunky lava mini, like 12-inch boulders coming, and black 3/4 that I'm going to splash around on top of the Cali Gold. We're in Del Mar. It's extremely coastal. The beach is just about a half a mile as the bird flies. Yeah, so I can do, the black accents over here, not over here. But, so we're going to pop, bring some black in to make it pop. It's going to be so pretty. I've got 3 giant barrels and some 5-gallon ones too for the front. The Dazzlerian longissimum, I'm going to do 1 over on the other side of the drive, so I may only do 2. I'll only do 2 on this side, and then I'll do 1 over there on the other. We've got our Fuquaria Diggetti. This is such a fabulous plant, and I chose it for this spot because I have a Dracaena Draco that I'm going to put over here. Remember, you don't want to be competing with the canopy of borrowed landscape. So this Fuquaria isn't going to grow as aggressively as the Dracaena Draco. So the Draco is going to be more out here. Then we're just going to keep moving closer and closer to the sidewalk. Saturday will be a really, really big day. Remember, Fridays are our day with our succulent babies. So we're off tomorrow, but Saturday we're going to come in here and get the rest of the soil moved, the rest of the boulder stage, and we should have absolutely no problem getting the rest of the plants in the ground as well. So that will be a really, really exciting day for sure. So thank you guys so much for following along on this incredible installation. We are definitely having a blast. Be sure and let me know any questions that you have in the comments. I'll do my very best to read and to answer. Send me photos of your favorite phalluses at my Instagram at Laura Loves Succulents. Oh yes, and I unfortunately the phallus shirt was just a little too, what's the word, guys? Risque for YouTube, so they aren't showing up on my shelf anymore. Yeah, you have to go to Teespring to Lori Eubanks in order to access the shop. Or you can go directly from the link on my Instagram too, at Laura Loves Succulents. And in my bio, there's a link to the store. Instagram is clearly a lot more hip than YouTube. So, anywho, thanks for your support. We're having a lot of fun. It's a beautiful day. Get out there and do something, you guys. So, how do we exit these videos, guys? What do we say?
I don't remember.
Colin and Kevin.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought too. If your succulent stands up, you've done your job.
Oh.
Bye.
No, this has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity reporting on day 4 in Del Mar with your
succulent tip of the day.
Wow. Bye, guys.
I don't feel like I'm being pushed. It's more like